So let's go ahead and get started. And then if other people join as we go, then great. Hi, thank you all for dialing in remotely. It's so nice to see you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Cool. So the vision behind this little experiment and first all ACP Virtual Art Salon is really twofold. So one, I really hope that this evening can provide a sense of connectedness and community during this time of isolation and social distancing. And also, I wanted to create some time and space to really highlight the artist's works in progress and do a deeper dive into what they've been working on, which I know I'm really excited to see. So essentially, actually, let me pause to say that I am recording this call. This was actually a great suggestion from Brendan at our last virtual Maspeth Ridgewood Art Salon. The purpose is really just for documentation purposes and to capture the artist's works in progress and the creative sort of behind the scenes experience of ACP. I don't think we're going to necessarily share this with the public stage, but if you're uncomfortable being on camera or being recorded, you could just turn your video off. Essentially, the way tonight is going to go, we're going to structure it where most of our time is really going to highlight the artist's work by showcasing all four of our artists' works in progress. We'll have a few minutes after each virtual performance for discussions, questions, otherwise. And then towards the end, we'll dedicate some time to art commissioner and advisory panelists announcements around 7:45 if anyone has anything that they want to share with the group. And then finally, I'll wrap up with next steps. So with that, I invite you to settle in, grab a glass of wine if you so desire. It looks like you all have muted your mics, which is great. That'll help with background noise. But feel free to unmute yourself if you want to chime in. And I also want to acknowledge that the performers in this virtual room, I'm sure, know that it is really hard to perform and engage remotely and through a camera. And so I just want to say thank you to our four artists for trying out this virtual experiment. And, I just want to encourage applause and, as much as we can make our artists feel supported, even in a virtual environment, the better, as far as I'm concerned. All right. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to our first ACP artist on deck, the one, the only, our ACP awardee in music composition, Michelle Palmieri. You're building suspense, Michelle.
Yay, Michelle! Round of applause.
Hi, Mary Ellen. Hi, Bronca, who just joined us. Michelle's working out some mic issues, but basically you haven't missed anything. We're just settling in for performances, remote performances right about now.
Very excited to see everyone's work.
Okay. Hi, Mary Ellen. It's Hi,
Hi,
I'm with Matthew.
Hi.
We know each other.
Of course, because you're in the room. Hi. I was just about to email you about something, so there we go.
Oh yeah, that thing that I asked you to do was canceled. Of course.
Yeah.
I appreciate
know. Well, I figured. Yeah. Good to see you. Good nice to see you, Matthew.
Now my camera is gone. Oh, wow.
Have we lost Michelle?
I think so. Do you hear me? No.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh, okay. Whoa. I think my computer decided not to work. I was trying to record on QuickTime as well, but I think it's not working very well.
I think I'm good on the recording front.
Yeah,
So
so
that's
I'm just gonna quit that for a moment.
Michelle, you don't need to worry about recording if that's making things complicated for you.
All right, let me see. Ooh. Settings. Video, okay. Oh. Okay. I think I got it. All right, does everybody see me? You hear me?
I can see and hear you, Michelle.
Okay, sorry, I don't see anybody. I just see myself.
She seems to have left the meeting.
That's right. I assumed she was reloading the page. Welcome back.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay, I think I got it now.
Great.
Everybody hears me, sees me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. So today I want to introduce you to Enrico. He is my partner and he is the musical producer for this album and this project. So today we're going to play a song for you. This one is it's a song about role models, and we specifically wanted to talk about the role of grandmothers in family and the importance of having a grandmother and growing up with a grandmother. I feel personally that a lot of immigrant kids don't have the opportunity to have this important role in their lives. So I wanted to explore the story and elevate grandmothers and the importance that they have in the life. So this one is it's called Ya lo digo yo. No, I say this. So this one goes like this. Desde que era muy pequeña, feels like 100 years ago, antes de poder siquiera caminar, me contaba de aventuras, de los enamorados, historias of my parents antes de mí. Para mi quinto cumpleaños, she gave me this little wrinkled book, el libro de las recetas of my family. Tamales, enchiladas, oldos, fiambres, juntas hemos cocinado, y a cada momento y a cada paso me decía, el amor con amor se gana. Me decía siempre mi abuela, el amor con amor se gana. Y ahora ya lo digo yo. Y ahora ya lo digo yo. 10 veranos ya pasaron. I argue with the whole world. Porque ahora todo de repente se complica.
se sentaba y me distraía contándome sus historias de New York, con cafecitos y pastelitos. Me decía, cuando seas grande te vas a acordar de estos momentos. Sueña alto, llega lejos. El amor con amor se va. Me decía siempre mi abuela. El amor con amor se gana. Y ahora ya lo digo yo. El amor con amor se gana. Me decía siempre mi abuela. El amor con amor se gana. Y ahora ya lo digo yo. 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 Ahora que no soy tan pequeña, since 100 years have gone, y que ya te cuesta caminar, yo te cuento de aventuras y de mis enamorados, historias of my life en Nueva York. El amor con amor se gana, me decía siempre mi abuela. El amor con amor se gana. Y ahora ya lo digo yo. Y ahora ya lo digo yo. Y ahora ya lo digo yo.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yay!
Thank you. This one it's pretty much finished. We reviewed the lyrics, we finished the content. I would love to send the lyrics and just what is it called? Reading proof, bulletproof. I always call it bulletproof. No, read proof. Reading
Proofreading.
proofreading. That's what it is. Yes. It's mostly in Spanish, but I put some lines in English just to make it bilingual and give a sense of and be able to follow the story. So besides that, we kind of narrowed down our search for stories and topics to 7 topics. The first one is quality of life. We want to talk about quality of life. So maybe this is the song we're thinking this one to be the song. What are you doing with your day? To list different things that should help to make your day happier and have a better quality of life. So that would be the opening number. What are you doing with your day? Then the second topic, we want to talk about growing up as a Latinx in the US. So I'm still, interviewing friends and talking with people to get stories. I read a beautiful story about a girl who took the accent on her last name because her last name is Miñoso. So the ñ, it's a very symbolic letter for us Latin people. And she tells this story of how, because it was hard to explain, she doesn't look Cuban and she doesn't have an accent and all these things, like she got tired to explain and getting all these following questions, how she took out that from her last name. But then realized that by doing this, she's compromising a lot of her identity and she's giving up a lot of her roots. So stories like this, I'm still...
You got in touch with her and she...
Oh, yeah. And I got in touch with her. She responded and she loved the project. She was like, yeah, I would love to collaborate. So hopefully that song is going to be a little bit in that direction. Then I also want to talk about the third topic is gender stereotypes in Latin culture. And we're still navigating this idea.
interview
with
few
interviews.
people
Yeah,
this
with
week.
interviewing people. Yeah, we still don't have like 100% clear. Our fourth topic is love yourself for who you are, and in this one we do want to talk about sexuality and coming out and talking about homosexuality in a very normal, and it's 2020 and it's our world today, and so how to address that. We're talking with a lot of friends and how to the best way to convey that for children. Our fifth topic, we want to talk about now, especially that we're living this pandemic situation, the importance of and not taking for granted the essential workers and caregivers and these roles in society that are just fundamental. So I think with the pandemic in mind, we want to write a story about these roles, like elevating these roles. The sixth song is the grandmother role models, but specifically grandmother. And then our seventh is knowing and celebrating your cultural roots. So this song we've been working a little more. The lyrics are not completely finished. We have a chorus and we're working on the verses.
60-70% is there.
Yeah, 60-70%. And
Here it is.
here it is. So yeah, this one I'm gonna sing as well. This is a track, so let's hope this works.
The sound check.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just try a sound check. If you hear me well, just like thumbs up. That will do.
Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, esta es mi raíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde...
Do we know why it's it there?
Yeah, because you're trying to do too many things at the same time.
Right. Oh yeah. All right, let's try that again.
There you go.
All right. This one is called Mi Raíz, my root. So this one talks about my roots, and the idea is that I list, things that make my root. And at the beginning of the song, we want to ask the audience and involve the audience. This would be the closing song, and ask them, what their cultural roots are. And I think the main point of these songs is to start a conversation. Like if we're not telling, because we can't talk about the whole spectrum of these topics, we do want these songs to make, to start the conversation about these topics. So this one is Mi Raíz.
Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, esta es mi raíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, esta es mi raíz. I was born in Guatemala, tierra de eterna primavera. Mira qué naturaleza, it'll take your breath away. En Antigua Guatemala, la 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 la. Elotes locos, el humo en tus ojos, aroma de café on every corner of the street. There's always some sun. Ya es la hora, la calle se colora, el sol se está metiendo, ya tomemos el tuk-tuk. La gente se prende, empecemos la fiesta. Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, esta es mi raíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, esta es mi raíz. November 1st in Guatemala, celebremos la tierra del Ain't nobody sin fiambre. So many things, 3 days to prepare. Carnaval en Guatemala, esperando na 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 na. Da 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 na 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 na. Na 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 na. Glasses are clinking, the double keeps ringing. The food is coming now, look, everybody's here. Turn up the music, let's party. Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, esta es mi raíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, es mi raíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, esta es mi raíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, tierra del maíz. Aquí es de donde vengo, esta es mi raíz.
Thank you so much. So sweet. Those are the two songs that. Oh, and then we have the opening number, but that one we're still reviewing the lyrics in the process of that. So that's where I am basically right now. Yeah, and I did a little behind the scenes little video. I don't know if I have time to share it, play it, or should I just send it after the call? Whatever is.
I want to make sure we have time for everyone, so just send it after the call. That would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna leave you guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Michelle, do you have any questions for the team? Anything you're looking for feedback on, or want to open up the floor for a couple of minutes if anyone has any comments or questions?
Oh yeah, I see a hand. Richard, please.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm really, I know this is like kind of a specific phase of the work, so I'm really excited to see like the finished product. So congrats on that. Just to something that you sent, I think it was the 4th topic that you mentioned about like loving yourself for who you are and like coming out and the best way to convey that to children. You know, at the end of the month, the center is hosting a drag queen story hour with like families with, you know, just like families. It's open to everybody, really. But it's a drag queen story hour that's gonna be reading a couple of like queer affirming books too for kids aged 3 to 8. So, you know, I might suggest if you wanna like see how other people tackle those topics or like bring those questions up, or even hear from any participants like what that will look like, that might be a good way, and I can send you the link. Please. Or for you, anybody on this call that wants to be on that to participate. So I'll send that after, but I think that might be a way to like gauge how other people talk about that.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, that would be great. Very helpful. Thank you, Richard.
What was the 5th topic?
Don't take for granted, like the caregivers and like essential workers. Yeah, like I really want to talk about. We started with this idea. I started with the idea of gratitude and like, you know, and not giving things for granted. And then like we want to narrow it down a little bit more, towards maybe caregivers and essential workers. So that's an idea. Still, you know, of course we're open for ideas, suggestions, pointers. Yeah.
Are you in conversation with anybody right now that's like a nurse or anything like that?
No, that was one of my If you know a nurse or anybody that is working and it's basically a session worker, I would love to talk to them. I know Lori will send me a contact. She's a nurse, so yeah. So anybody, please, I would love to talk to them.
Okay, we'll do, because my cousin works at a hospital in Sunset Park right now. We just moved her over, and so I've just been, she's on a COVID floor right now, so that's, we'll reconnect on that.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Michelle, I have a question. It's Mary Ellen. Sorry, it's so hard because there's so many people. Is it possible for you to just send out to everybody those topics, just so that we have I tried to write them all down, but I just love to have that. Yeah.
Yes. Totally. Yeah.
It was also really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's exactly what Richard said. It's still work in progress, so it's almost there, but not quite. So it's oh. Do I feel how comfortable do I feel? But no, but thanks for
awesome.
And,
Hi, this is John. I also really appreciate the songs and thought it was really beautiful. And one of the groups that you may want to touch base with is Make the Road. It's a organization that supports low-income workers, mostly Latino. And they have been very upfront with the way the official response has been to frontline workers, mostly immigrants at this point, because Congress intentionally excluded undocumented immigrants from the CARE Act, which provides direct payments to American families to help with COVID crisis. And so I think it's definitely a good contrast between your song, which is very beautiful, and the ugliness of American politics.
Yes. Sorry, what was the name? Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah. Is this the organization? Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, John.
I also want to add, Michelle, this goes for you as well as all 4 of our artists. I think it would be great if you're up for it to document your process by highlighting you on the QCA blog, and that could take the form of potentially an interview or I guess written conversation between you and an art commissioner or artist. So if anyone would be interested in that, let me know. And QCA is more than happy to help promote any calls that you have. So for instance, if you're looking to connect with a certain demographic or psychographic, we can share that on social media and try to help, connect you to whomever you need to talk to.
Perfect. Thank you, Kelly.
Cool. Any other comments for Michelle before we move on? Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yay. All right. Next up on our lineup, I'm really particularly touched that he was able to join us. For those of you who don't know, Matthew has been suffering from symptoms of what is, we presume, is COVID-19 for the last week or two. And so he not only put together some content for us, or rather he not only joined the call, but he has content to share with us. And understandably, it's going to be a little bit shorter because I don't want him to push himself and take care of himself. But I'm so glad, Matthew, that you're with us and that you're feeling better. And thank you to your wife for joining us. And so excited to see what you've been working on.
Hi, everyone. Excuse me. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Hai Ting.
Hai Ting is a singer, and we're going to present a couple of little things in progress. Does everyone have their mics off? So I can, okay.
We're going to play a track too, so we didn't want any ghosting.
First, I'd like to just do a quick sound check, just to make sure you can hear. So here's a little bit of music. Okay, great. We're going to do three little things. They're all in progress. First up is I think I've mentioned to you guys how in this piece, the majority of the piece is going to be the singer interacting with callers, people calling the restaurant, etc. But there are going to be a few brief movements that are just going to highlight just a speaker, partly to have a break for the format, and then also to give Hai-Ting a break. So this is the first 2 minutes of one of those movements, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of setup here, because the trickiest thing, let me see, the trickiest thing with all this was actually figuring out how to do subtitles. So all right, can you guys read that?
I think the camera pan a little bit towards you, Matthew.
The camera needs to pan a little towards you.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna, when you're in, come over. Okay, cool. All right, so
can we pin ourselves so we can see if we're on camera or not?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I don't need to be here for this.
Okay. Okay, so
do you want to sit here? You sit
no,
here
it's good. It's good. So again, this is this language is Gurung. It's a small dialect spoken in the mountains of Nepal, and that's pretty much all I know about it, other than the fact that there is a community, a Gurung community in Queens. So, without further ado,
Is it right way around for them?
They said they can read it, right?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Suji pli barsa 14 वर्ष पहिला जो न्यू बियो देशर खाला मृने पालो जमीन गेरे चुरा अंगा तुम्हें पहिला नासर तुम्हें जो लेक बोला अनि जमाने गई लो गई ना अमेरिका खाइना वो भिरी भी जमाने बितेला अनि जमाई चर तान केवल लो बन्दोबस्त लाथेमी चर di tumalan bula charan dora malatadi ani gisar tonal bise Amerika tere ya nambu chara kaitau ye kijo kailau ye ngari ngintau tu madila angadena jo porin mai pasalar ke nadi nasun nene chali gamni de juru ki are utai di Loro cari prediti kim prediti cari nitalara channel sanal biu tira ke yodi cara ke ludi
There are a couple chats that came up during that and you probably didn't see.
Hi, y'all. Actually, don't have your.
Look at chat. Oh.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. Thank you so much.
We can't see you guys
we
right now.
can't see anyone right now, so you might all be screaming at the screen. We can't hear you. You suddenly.
We're all here. People are smiling and virtually
Okay, okay, I see some of you. So you could hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So next up, next up, we're going to we're going to read the rough libretto for the first call to the restaurant. So so just to remind you, in the beginning, there's going to be a little opening sequence where the singer is holding her child and comes up with the idea of a takeout restaurant, and tells her baby how excited she is to try it out. So this is going to be the first scene when she's opening the restaurant and she gets the first call. So the thing is that this one, it got too complicated with the subtitles. So this is actually in German, but for the most part, we're not going to actually speak German.
So we're just going to read you the libretto in translation.
Yeah, there are going to be a couple of German words here and there just for flavor, but let's just go.
So you would be hearing German, but this is what you would see in the subtitles.
Right. Does that make sense? Okay, German. So on the kitchen counter is one of those candlestick telephones. There are a few small phrase books for various languages, and there's a large mason jar. So it's the grand opening of the takeout restaurant. The singer is futzing with the objects on the counter, trying to make everything look just right. Satisfied, she takes a deep breath and stares at the phone. Time passes. The singer is nodding off when the phone rings. She lifts the receiver with enthusiasm.
Takeout?
May I venture to ask you a question?
1 second.
Have you ever had hours, perhaps even days or weeks, in which all of your customary activities did nothing but cause you vexation and dissatisfaction, when everything that you usually consider worthy and important seemed trivial and worthless?
Days or weeks.
At such a time, did you not know what to do or where to turn?
At such a time, you did not know.
A dim feeling pervaded your breast that you had higher desires that must be fulfilled, desires that transcended the pleasures of this world, yet desires which your spirit, like a cowed child, did not even dare to utter.
Mein Herr, have you called the correct number?
In this longing for an unknown something, which longing hovered above you no matter where you were, like an airy dream with a thing transparent forms that melted away each time you tried to examine them. You had no voice for the world about you.
This is a restaurant.
You passed to and fro with a troubled look, like a hopeless lover, and no matter what you saw being attempted or attained in the bustle of varied existence,
Mein lieber Herr, this is
it was as if you had no share in this sublunary world.
Mein Herr.
Would
you like to order something?
Do you know me?
No. Who are you?
A strange old gentleman whom nobody can fathom.
Okay. Today's specials are food, food soup, food stew,
Oh, Wunder.
bread on bread, soup stew,
Yeah, yeah.
pea slurry, and my leftover lunch.
Good heavens, yes.
Mein Herr, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I am filled with doubts.
How?
I worry I have already failed, even as I have only just begun.
9.
9?
While laboring here, you are undergoing a season of instruction. Belief and full knowledge will lead you to the near goal if you but hold fast what you have begun well.
Thank you. Danke, lieber Herr. Your words have put me at ease.
Which reveals the harmony of all beings as the deepest secret of nature.
Okay.
Adieu. I must make haste. Adieu, till we meet again.
Oh, were you going to...
Gute Nacht, my beloved friend.
Were you going to order some...
Ring, ring. Forgive my husband. He's from the old country. We're rather hungry, but he is unfamiliar with telephone etiquette. We'd like to order food soup, food stew, bread on bread, soup stew, pea slurry, and your leftover lunch. Das Essen, Essensuppe, Essen Eintopf, Brot auf Brot, Suppe Eintopf,
Erbsen auf Schlemmung und mein übrig gebliebenes Mittagessen.
They hang up.
Matthew, that was hysterical. You're frozen on my end, though.
Sorry again?
You were frozen for a second, but luckily only after you finished hysterical rendition of the libretto. Thank you for that. I think you're unfrozen now. Great.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, the husband part is going to be spoken by a German, which I already have the audio, and then the second, when the wife calls back, that's going to be another singer singing in German, so that they can do sort of that duet at the end. So last up is the last one that is in progress enough to play for you all, and it's the Serbian movement. This is going to come about 2/3 of the way through, I believe.
Matthew, you're frozen.
Try not to touch the mic.
Yeah, go a little higher. Uh-oh. Oops. Spoilers. No, you have to move farther over this way for that. I think we're on the wrong page. That way you can move the stand over this way.
Okay. All right. I think that'll do.
Maybe higher?
We're just going to have to move this.
Oh, great.
Thank you guys for your patience. We all know the drill with technology. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And remember, it starts after.
Oh, let's do a sound check and make sure they can hear me and the track at the same time.
Oh, okay. I'll just start it and you can sing a little bit. It's that thing where we can't see them again. Okay, we're just going to do a quick test. I'm going to play the beginning and let me know if you can hear both the track and Hai Ting singing.
Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Cool. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Zdravo.
Zdravo. Ovaj restoran je pun. Neće biti dugo. Mogu li te pomoći?
Gladan sam. Ja sam žedan.
Šta želi da pojećeš? Danas ja posebnost je. Sve je plavo. Slano.
Jaja.
I jaja. Plavo. I slano.
Picu.
Picu. Kakvu vrstu pici?
Povrćem.
Mali ili veliki?
Mali molim.
Mali molim.
Mali molim.
Mali molim. Staži li ti da popecje?
Imate li sveže mleko?
Plavo i slano.
Hvala vam.
Zdravlje je moje.
Kako si?
Veoma dobro.
Svet se menja.
Svet se menja. Da li ublasen?
Da li si uplašen?
Da li si uplašen?
Ti si divna osoba.
I ti si dobra osoba. Ovo vinjo je veoma mlado. To je iz poznate vinarije. Ima nelok ili boče.
Hajde da ih popijemo sve. Svet se menja.
Svet se menja.
Sve se menja.
Svet se menja.
Život je divan.
Život je divan.
Sunce sija.
Sunce sija.
Sunce je jako.
Sunce je jako.
Vetar je jak.
Vetar je jak.
Uzbudljivo.
I volim ne smeje.
Imamo veliki mozak.
Da.
Sad se osjećam bolje.
Sad se osjećam bolje.
Sad se osjećam bolje.
All right. Thank you all so much.
Perfect.
Thank
Pronunciation.
Oh no, there's I was hoping there were no Serbian speakers on there.
Veoma dobro.
I just learned it today. So
beautiful. Perfect.
So yeah, that's what we have prepared. Thank you so much to Hai Ting.
Thank you all for putting up with me.
Any of you all have any questions? Feel free to let me know. I guess also just to tell you, I'm still. I think I told you guys I'm now working with a librettist for some of the framing of the piece and for the overall arc. And I have my first post-COVID meeting with him on Monday. I mean, not in person, of course, but yeah.
Thank you so much, Matthew, for preparing that. That was great. And thank you both so much. That was awesome.
He's been really sick.
I'm
so I just need to this is like the first day that he has sat at his computer and worked for a significant period of time. So I know he doesn't. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying I've been taking care of him.
That is true.
There are no excuses to be made. You did the thing. But we're so glad that you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Me too.
Does anyone have any feedback or comments for Matthew?
I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed it, and the whole philosophical thing from the old German dude at the beginning is delightful. I love that so much, and it's going to be such a wonderful lead into everything else. And your voice is gorgeous, and I'm so sorry you've been sick, Matt. I mean, but I'm glad you're getting better.
Yeah, I beat it. Well, thank you all so much for listening, and looking forward to the other presentations.
Thanks, Matt. The German philosophical number made me laugh too. I saw other people tackling, and thanks for preparing the subtitles. That was really helpful, I think, for following. It wouldn't have been the same without that. So yeah, thank you for figuring out that technological orientation.
Yeah, it was a strange mixture of low tech and high tech, that solution.
For sure. Yeah, that's the social distancing way. All right.
Excellent.
Moving right along, we're going to transition to our blushing artist. And next up on our digital roster, we have Jaime.
Hi, everyone. So before I start, I'd recommend that you pin me and then get off gallery view so you see me in your full screen. And that's just because I have a lot of visual elements that I'd like to share, and you'll just see them better if you have my screen as your full screen. Yeah, I just want to give some context. In my piece, the scene that I'm sharing with you now is actually toward the end of my show, and it takes place in my childhood. Well, I guess it takes place in my dad's house, and it really is kind of the catharsis of the show, because the way that I approach the story is I'm looking into Spam, the canned meat, as a portal into my identity and my family history. And by having this conversation with my family about the first time they had Spam, it unravels all these other things that I'd never heard of. And one of the things, it is like a surreal autobiography. So one of the things that happens is while I'm reflecting on the Korean War, which is how Spam came to Korea, it was through the American soldiers that brought it with their army rations. I'm struggling from the civil war at home because my parents are fighting a lot at home, and they end up separating when I'm a child. And And then I live with my mother in the show, and as I'm eating different spam dishes, I'm haunted by these spirits of like Spam's past. So all of these things happen in the show, and then finally I come to this moment where I learned a lot of things about my grandmother. I'm learning that there are other Asian and Asian American people like me that have had their kind of family histories torn apart because of war, and like unable to access all this information because of war. And then I get this realization that, well, I get pushed by this pig spirit. I know there's a lot going on in there in that plot, but I'm encouraged to then reunite with my dad and actually ask him about his family's past, which during this whole show I had avoided because I had lived with my mom and I hadn't really spent time with him. So like, and this is my attempt to kind of reach over to the other side and finally reunite with my dad. And in my show, my dad represents North Korea and my mom very much represents South Korea in the way that they both dealt with their time in America. So my mom, after she separated, moved to like Midtown Manhattan, and she kind of fulfilled the American dream. She became a fashion designer and had a fancy life. And then my dad ended up hunkering down in Brooklyn, in my childhood home in Brooklyn, and was so adamant about change that he ended up moving to my neighbor's home. So it's a mirror image of the home that I grew up in as a child. So anyway, that's a lot of context. I'm going to go straight into the scene. Just know that it's toward the end of the play. And the set behind me, so this set piece was being built in my house because I was going to do a work in progress showing at Stony Brook University at the Long Center, but that got canceled. But I do have this set piece in my house. So this is 1 out of 2 rolling carts. And I'll if I have time, I'll show you the different sides. But this side of the cart is my dad's house or my childhood home. Yeah, and because it's a little difficult to see some of the things that I'll be referencing, like usually I would have a video projector to show certain things. I'm actually going to bring all of the objects that I talk about in this. It'll make sense. So let me grab it. So here are the family photos. And there's one over here that's referenced at some point. Okay. One moment. All right. I'm just going to read from the script since I can't stage it. My parents sold our old house when they got separated, so my dad ended up moving to the one next door. The layout is a mirror image of the one I grew up in. My mom tried to throw out a bunch of stuff before he moved, but it looks like he retrieved everything. He says each item holds priceless memories. My mom says it's priceless because it's trash. Well, good thing he kept everything because I found these, my family photos. Our old house in Gravesend, our old church. This is from my first communion. Me and Connie in Hawaii. And this is Connie and her mom, who taught me how to make spam musubi. And this is when my parents first moved to New York in the 70s. First adventures in Coney Island, fishing in Shipshead Bay. Check out those bell bottoms. Here's their clothing store in Bensonhurst. They named it Clara's World after my mom. This is the big business that led to my mom's own fashion line. A humble beginning. And here he kept all their photos from Korea. These are my mom's parents, my grandma, grandpa. And he showed me photos I've never seen before. This is my dad. Oh, sorry. This is my grandpa. And he showed me photos I've never seen before. This is my dad in the black coat, his brother, his sisters. He was born up north in Pyongyang. He told me when the war broke out, my grandma was pregnant and was scared for her children. My grandparents owned a factory and they knew their wealth would make them a target, so she converted whatever money she could into gold bars and tied them around her waist and gathered her children to move south. Her brother, who was a doctor in the military, helped her escape. You see the man standing second to the left? That's him, my great uncle. But my grandpa stayed behind. He believed the war would subside, so he lived in a hideout, storing their savings in a chimney with the hopes that his family would come back home and things would return to normal. He waited for 2 years. When he learned the demarcation line was drawn and no one could leave, he burned all his money in that chimney. He hired a smuggler to help him cross Hangang, the Han River. Bombs fell, and he was one of the few who survived the crossing. This was taken shortly after he united with my grandma and his children, meeting my aunt for the first time since she was in the boom. We found that my grandma had been supporting the family by buying and selling supplies from US Army bases. As they rebuilt their life together in Seoul, my grandma mourned her sister, who was captured when they tried to flee, and their brothers who were never found. My grandpa ached for his parents and brother who were trapped in Pyongyang. My grandpa held on to the hope of moving back to North Korea. He reminisced about his youth, the life he had, the life he should have had. Just like my dad feels about moving to America. My maternal grandmother lives in Washington now, close to my mom's siblings. My dad's parents stayed in Korea. When they came to visit us in New York, my dad asked if they would consider moving here, but my grandpa replied, "We've already had to immigrate once. We're not doing it again." This is the only surviving photo from North Korea that we know of. My grandma resting in a field. My grandparents abandoned most of their belongings in Pyongyang when they fled south, and my parents left behind most of their possessions in Seoul when they moved to the US. When my grandparents passed away, their house was sold and everything there was thrown away. So this is what I'm left with. What has survived. They're survived by me. Okay, so I read that scene. And also, I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the show, it turns out after my parents separate, and I lived with my mom in Manhattan, she has thrown out all of her family photos. So that's when I have like an identity crisis. And so at the end, when I find all these family photos, it's like, you know, a relief. So yeah, that's the scene I want to share today. I do also have some things that I've made that I wanted to share as well. So I can walk you over to this rolling shelf that I mentioned. So this was one of the photos I was talking about with my dad and my grandpa. And then this shelf actually rolls completely. So One side of it actually has a palm tree, which is used in a scene set in Hawaii. And then the back of the shelf is used, it has this like, it's going to be in a traditional Korean cloth pattern called kojagi. And I had a textile artist make that. And one fun fact is that where my dad's picture frame is here, and I'll show you, it's actually like a trap door. So when this is rotated, there's a hole, and from the hole emerges that spiritual pig I was talking about. So, like so. And we'll be public here. Just kind of go hang out here. And the Hormel girls are these World War II women, veterans, who, after the war, were hired by Hormel, the manufacturers of Spam, to sell different products. So in my show, they'll be played by Asian women who wear these sort of horrifying masks during the first half. And this is what it looks like if you're curious. And so I painted these masks, and one of my friends, who's also an artist, sculpted it. And I have 4 of these that people will wear. And they have pretty good visibility. I painted the eyeballs, but if you look in the back, they're actually translucent here. And then since I have a little time, I'll also share some of the instrumentation. So the show's really multidisciplinary. I work with different artists, including myself. I mean, like I do visual art. So a lot of these, like the pig puppet you just saw with the hoof, I created. It was out of paper mache. And I also work with a musician. So we use a lot of kitchen percussion in this show. And they almost sound like certain Asian instruments. Like for instance, these almost sound like bells. And then we have a gong-like sound that comes from this, which is really a mixing bowl. I think they even have little. But yeah, I'm no musician, but this will be all composed, and that'll be accompanying a lot of these scenes. And there's also shadow play in the show, and that's the last thing I'll show you, which is with my computer here. These are some puppets that I made. And okay. Not sure if you can see that. Might be too bright, actually. Yeah, it might be too bright outside because I don't have curtains to show it, but these are some of the puppets I made for that. There's like airplanes that'll pass by. And these are used during these scenes where I'm translating my grandmother's oral histories. And you'll see like clear shadow silhouettes for those. And actually these puppets I made, a couple of them I made at Flushing Town Hall's Shadow Puppet Workshop series with Chinese Theater Works. And they gave me a lot of great tips on how to make them more durable. Because before I was using these cereal boxes, which work brilliantly actually, but they're not that durable. So I switched to plastics that I could cut. and that worked a lot better. And yeah, so that's like the behind the scenes on my end. It's a little hard to visualize since it is like, a fully staged show with 6 other performers. But I hope that gave you a rough sense of what I'm working with. I'll also share a link to the script, which I updated since I last uploaded it. And I'll just share that on the message board. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Jaime, for the monologue and the visual tour. I just got some pretty amazing screenshots of you showing the prop pig with everyone laughing. Anyone have thoughts or comments for Jaime you want to share?
I'm gonna hop off, but Jaime, I just wanted to say that stuff looks so beautiful, and I can't wait to see the show someday. I love the everything, the masks and the puppets, and yeah, so cool to have been a fly on the wall here. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Hi, this is John. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, John. Yeah, Jaime, I think it'll be really fun to see like the rest of this. I'm excited to see the rest of the script that you have uploaded. It was really fun. I mean, like that's such a challenge to share like that sort of medium without anyone else but yourself. So thank you for like pushing through that. It was really great.
Thanks.
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing that, Jaime. And I've been following also your stuff that you've been posting on like your Instagram feed too. So it's been also like supplemental to what you're talking about right now, and like to actually see these dishes that you're talking about that you make yourself. When you were going through the presentation, I kept thinking of two different things. Like there's one side of it that's very serious, and then there's the side that's like also very absurdist with the like pig puppet and the mask and things like that. So it's just like wondering for you, like what that marriage between like such, like the seriousness of the topics that you're talking about juxtaposed with this like very absurdist presentation of like some of these like nightmare scenes or traumatic experiences and things like that. So I'm curious to see like how that merges together,
Yeah, I think if I would love to hear your feedback on the script, because I think the way that I wrote the script is also very visual, and I try to convey like how all of that interlocks. So yeah, I hopefully the script conveys some of that. But yes, it is kind of hard to wrap your mind around, at least through this medium.
Yeah, and that was just like one of the things that I was thinking of. Is like, which does it gravitate more towards like something more serious or more absurdist, or and that's just one thing, like, from looking at other performances too. It's like, it leans more one towards the other, and so I would love to see like how that comes about, so I think seeing the script would also help, but I really love seeing the visual images, and it's great to see that you have like your hands along with other hands involved in all of those processes and things like that, and that you're also getting like the support from areas that aren't necessarily like you said, you're not a musician or a composer, but that you're getting support from people that are actually like doing that, and that's their thing. So it's great to like have that network, I think.
Yeah, I work with like 15 artists on this, and one of them actually, Justin Perkins, Mary recommended, and Justin actually is the one who made that set piece of my childhood home, and it's been really great.
Yeah, I'm so glad that that worked out, Jamie, that was a good connection.
Yeah, Jamie, I just also wanted to add, having had the opportunity to read your amazing scripts, I mean, especially that last part towards the ending, I thought that the writing was already so powerful, but seeing the actual visuals of your, your grandparents' photographs really like hit the spot. I think especially it resonates because a lot of immigrants who come here, usually because of like unfortunate circumstances like war, it's usually really devastating to look at photos of family members because those histories are lost. Those histories are usually not accessible because they have been erased because of traumatic events like war. So thank you for bringing that to light and sharing that part of your script with us.
It was also interesting to see you perform directly after Matthew, because I think what Richard was talking about sort of this balance or interesting interplay between humor and seriousness, absurdity and weighty topics, was kind of a trend from between both of your works. Nice. Any other comments from the group before we move on?
Just a quick thought. Jamie, this is John. I really love the way you made the analogy between the Civil War in Korea and the Civil War in your family. I'd love to see the rest of your piece. I just wanted to comment, there's a crisis going on now. How do you think there's a connection between your art and some of the things that might be related to the current crisis? So for example, I was just thinking, you mentioned Hormel. Spam is used by some economists to indicate economic, crisis and distress, because sales of spam usually go up during recessions. And I noticed the last time I went to my local H Mart, pretty much all the spam had been taken off the shelves. And it's just a thought I had. There's no really answer that I'm looking for, but it'd be interesting to kind of make that link with what's going on around us.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that is true. It's the same reason why it's an emergency food is the same reason why it was an emergency ration for American soldiers during the war. So yeah, you don't need to refrigerate it. You can technically eat it out of the can if like the gas goes out, but you should also always fry it. And yeah, we have been reflecting on it, our team, and we're trying to figure out ways to create content during COVID that is comforting, and because spam is also a comfort food. But yes, like it is definitely an emergency food as well. So yeah, I haven't got into it too much, but if you check my social media feeds, I'm going to continue making different spam recipes. So the first one was spam fried rice. The next one I'm going to try vintage spam recipe. So it might not be totally appetizing, but it'll be an adventure. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. And can you drop your social media handle in the chat in case some people don't have it?
Yes, I'll do that now.
Thank you. All right. So bringing us in for our ACP finale, we have Marcus, and I believe a couple of his collaborators have joined us as well. Hello, welcome. And Marcus, you have the floor, or I guess the screen, as it were.
Hi everyone, this is Marcus here. Sorry I can't share a video. I sprayed my neck, so I sort of look like Quasimodo right now. I have like 3 hot packs right now on my neck. So I do have 2 collaborators right now, 2 lovely actors who are going to sing some of the songs from the show. I have Kendall Ito and Kennedy Kanagawa. Hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, so basically we're going to sing 2 songs from the show. The first one is going to be sung by Kendall. She plays the character of Fan Fan. And Fan Fan is the 18-year-old who is Asian American, loves pop music, loves hip hop, loves rap, hates Chinese, doesn't speak Chinese at all, and tries to rebel against everything her parents want, everything her mother wants, really. She really wants to be a pop star, but her mom really wants her to go to college. So she is secretly auditioning for the Apollo Theater amateur talent night with this song. So that's the first song that we're gonna go with, and the second song is gonna be Underwater. So that's with Brendan. Kennedy plays Brendan, and Brendan he's the son of Shenzha Wang. So Shenzha is actually the guy who makes your hand-pulled noodles. So if you go to Flushing, you want to get hand-pulled noodles, he's the guy that makes your hand-pulled noodles. And he has a son, his name is Brendan. Brendan is supposedly going to law school, but not really. He has this deep, dark secret, and you'll find out why later in the show. But Shenzha basically thinks he's going to law school, and he's super excited about his son graduating and becoming a lawyer. But actually, Brendan has this deep, dark secret because he actually wants to go do something else. Kendall, are you there? You're muted right now.
Is it? Hello?
Hey.
Okay, hi. Never worked this
Hey. Yes, I see you. Okay, cool. Can we do a little sound check and kind of see, test out the vocals a little bit?
Totally. So here's the backtrack. Do you hear it?
Ooh, really loud, yeah.
How about there?
A little louder?
There?
Yeah, that's good. Can we move it a little away from the speaker?
Yeah.
You look amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Okay. How about here?
Try singing something. Just say la la la, whatever.
La 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 la. The room I take a while. Everyone.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's my little pop song, people. So let's just try and see how it goes.
Great. Every time you feel the lights start to get low, troubles at your back, you got no place to go. Time is running out like blood drops in the snow. Don't listen to the whispers, find the strength inside, or they'll wear you down like the stars with their pretty little lies. So what if they don't let you in their club? They'll come begging when you blow up. You gotta fake it till you make it. Everybody starts somewhere. You gotta fake it till you make it, till your name is everywhere. You gotta fake it till you make it. Work that hustle, you gotta shake it, cause till you make it, you gotta fake it. Never thought the dreams would ever get me down, but the fear to fall makes you wanna turn around. Takes you up inside without a single sound. Climbing to the top, that road might take a while. Everyone says stop, don't let them cramp your style. So what if you don't do what other people expect? Just be living your own truth and earning that self-respect. You gotta fake it till you make it and you make believe. You gotta fake it till you make it real's just what we perceive. You gotta fake it till you make it. Hit that wall until you break it, cause till you make it, you gotta fake it. Take it, break it, stake it, bake it. Gotta fake it till you make it. Take it, break it, stake it, bake it. Gotta fake it till you make it. Folks, let me tell you just where it's at. People don't care till you're all that, and who really knows what exactly is real? It's what you think and how you feel. Is it chemicals in your brain? It's a fine line between normal and insane. Suspects don't come in a given time. How can you rise if you don't even climb? Maybe this idea is just redundant, but start from a place that is abundant. If you don't believe that no one else will, life is hard. dance.
Dance break.
You gotta fake it till you make it. Everybody starts somewhere. You gotta fake it till you make it. Till your name is everywhere. You gotta fake it till you make it. Work that hustle. You gotta shake it. Cause till you make it, you gotta fake it.
Yay! Thank you, Kendall. Thank you. So Kendall is actually on the what's that? The cast recording of Soft Power that's coming out tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Why do you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. Tune in. It's gonna be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Public Theater's YouTube channel.
So if you don't know, like Soft Power was written by David Henry Hwang and Janine Tesori, super awesome musical, all Asian cast. Could you actually like put like the link like where we could like check that out in the chat box actually?
Of course, I'll do that right now.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. So moving on, we're gonna go to Kennedy. Kennedy, can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, good.
Great. So let's just do like a little sound check or something like that.
Yes, sure.
Be a little louder. Ooh, really close to the mic.
How's this? More?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh, you have a fan. Who's your fan? Mary Eleanor.
Hi, Kennedy. I didn't know you were doing this.
Hi.
Yay!
Is the sound? Is that okay?
That seems okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So like Kennedy is playing Brendan. Deep Dark Secret. Who knows what it is? We'll find out in the song. Maybe. Who knows? All right. Cool. Let's just start.
Okay. Have you ever kept a secret from a person that you love? Have you ever had to lie to their face? It started out small, the truth aside, it was shoved, then grew, taking up more space. Things I wish I could say, so much I want to tell you, so much I want to let you know. But the truth gets in the way, I keep trying to swim through, but I'm caught in the undertow. Underwater, the air is getting stale underwater. Gotta learn to inhale underwater. Wish I could come up for air. I have my reasons, but would you care? So many times I tried to come out and say it. Sometimes I wish it was like before. No matter how much I try to replay it, it ends with you walking out the door. I was always the smart one, always did well in school, never let you down. Always hit the home run, always followed the rule. Now I'm starting to drown. Underwater, your heart pounds in your ears underwater. Life catches up to your fears underwater. I wish I could stay forever, but coming up it's now or never. But the weight of expectation crushes conversation, flooding with feelings of dread. The waters are rising from my own devising. I'm in over my head. The lies I keep making are so suffocating, dragging me down to the end. I'm at the point of breaking, but the tide's overtaking, forcing me to descend underwater. The pressure starts to build underwater. Your dreams die unfulfilled underwater. Rock bottom on the sand. If I told you, would you understand? How do I tell you I dropped out of law school? It would break your heart in two. The best of intentions always go wrong. I never wanted to be a bother. But how long can I keep holding my breath? Holding my breath underwater. Holding my breath underwater.
Yay! Thank you so much. That was Kennedy, everyone. Amazing.
Bravo.
High B, right there. Super high note for any guy. If you need an awesome singer, please let him know. If you want to put your website down in the chat, so everyone can.
Yeah, sure.
If they need you. Yes.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, you hit chat and then you type in whatever you like.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Yeah, so I guess you don't find out what happens to Brendan in the song. No spoilers. You're gonna have to watch the show to find out. So I don't know. If you guys have any questions, want to chime in right now, that'll be great.
It's great to hear the music after reading the script, and
I know, right?
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought, especially, yeah. Oh, also, I'm so excited to hear Soft Power too. I really love the musical, so thanks for joining.
You should. The listening party tomorrow. Go check it out.
Yeah. I don't think I can because I have another. It's like my whole life is Zoom. But
don't worry, you can buy it on iTunes and you can listen to it over and over again. I have so many friends in that show.
Thanks for joining. But yeah, no, I was really enjoyed finally listening to and getting a taste. And I'm really excited to see how it all turns out with some of the. I know that some of these melodies you repeat later, with. Throughout, right?
Yeah, Underwater comes back. Underwater comes back at the end of the Act 2 part. Yeah.
At one point, different songs. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how that comes together too.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, I just want to thank Kendall and Kennedy. That was incredible. One, it made me very thankful that I decided to record this. But also, it is not easy to jump on a call with 20 strangers and sing like that. And you did an incredible job. So thank you, and thank you for jumping into our little virtual family here.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments for Marcus and his team? All right. Thank you so much for that performance to all three of you. Kendall and Kennedy, you're welcome to hang out if you want to. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. So I now just wanted to take a couple of minutes to open up the conversation to all the art commissioners and advisory panelists. If anyone has any personal or professional announcements or updates that you want to share with the group. I know that So Young was interested in sharing an update. If you want to start off. So Young, are you here? All right, I'm gonna take that as a no. Anyone else have anything you wanna share? It can be an update as to how you're doing with the coronavirus situation, or any announcements or virtual events you want to share with the group.
Hi, Richard again. So I just want to say thank you again for all of the artists that put stuff together. I know I've worked with the Maspeth group and talked to Matthew and Michelle, but it's great to hear Jaime's work, and like I've been following your work on social media, but I've not seen Marcus's work. So Marcus, it's great to meet you and meet you through your work, so to speak, which is always a great way to meet people, I think. Aside from in person, obviously, but
Thank you.
yeah, I know it's weird right now too, because there's we're having this conversation via virtual platform, so maybe like the sound's not always so perfect, or there's delays, or there's we might not have the most professional recording equipment or things like that, but it's great to see what that idea is starting to look like, and to translate that from paper to some kind of tangible product. So thank you for putting that stuff together amidst everything that's going on right now around us. And so like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops. I don't think this is a great glimpse, but I also understand that for some of the things that I mentioned before about technical aspects and things like that it'll be great to see what that looks like in person. As far as updates on my end, I work at the LGBT Community Center, and we're closed indefinitely, which for us as an organization is pretty weird, because we do offer services 365 days a year for people that might need support for recovery programs, mental health counseling, testing, youth programs and support, and things like that. But that to say that we have transferred a lot of our offerings online and have been doing a lot of virtual events. And from an arts and culture perspective, which is what I do there at the LGBT Center, I've been utilizing these platforms in order to engage community in different types of conversations, from the serious topics of obviously things that are going on right now to things that might provide some kind of respite or release. So even being involved in this conversation is a great kind of relief to that. And so we've been hosting a couple of things virtually online. Tomorrow we'll have a zine fair that looks at these 4 LGBTQ artists that work in zines as their medium to just showcase their work and talk about zine making and things like that. And then I mentioned earlier that we'll have a drag queen story hour for families in order to engage different audiences too. I think oftentimes we think of the impact of situations like this, and we forget about the fact that there are younger audiences that are also impacted, and that will have to take this forward when some of us might not be here anymore. And so very, very cognizant of also providing space and resources for those audiences. So I'll send the link here in the chat for anybody that wants to see any upcoming events. But if you or anybody else is in need of services, especially for mental health counseling and things like that, or questions about insurance, for health insurance or anything, we just launched a live chat feature. So while building's physically not open, you can also engage with our front desk staff in a virtual front desk staff capacity to get the resources you need and get the support. So that's it.
I have a thought, Richard. That was awesome. It's so good to see you, actually, because I haven't seen you in a while. So it's good to see you virtually. Yeah, I just to echo that. I mean, I feel like I spend hours of my life with my designers in my design union, with our industry leaders, talking about like what does it mean to be a designer in a world where there's no events. You know, I just think that the loss of being in the room is very real. And I think that virtual things can't replace that. But I have to say that hearing all 4 of these wonderful works in progress, like I am both elated about all of this work and like so excited to like do it, and also like profoundly interested in doing it in person in a way that is just like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't know. So, I mean, that's kind of a mixed bag of emotions. But like I said, the last time we had this meeting that was just the Maspeth group, like it is really wonderful to have a little bit of my day be about art that is moving forward, because every other piece of my day is not that. It's all of us designers going, oh my God, who's got unemployment? No one has any money. We have no, you know. So thank you so much for your generosity and like willing to be in the room virtually, even though it doesn't feel the same. Although I do feel like a small piece of it does feel the same in a small way. And I know Kelly said the email, I think I'm actually recovered now from COVID-19, which is like super great. I can taste things again. So and Matthew, I do not think I had it nearly as bad as you do. So like, hold strong. You're gonna make it. But that's kind of what I have to share. I wish I had something like you do to share in terms of positive things. I think the theater community is just really we're just at the bottom. We don't really, it's hard to know what to say, but you know, anyways, thank you for everyone who it does have something to contribute positively to like make the rest of us feel more sane. So
Thanks, Mary Eleanor. You know, one of the things also that we were working on and like utilizing this time too is to put out a couple of call for submissions too around like how people are utilizing this time and space right now. And one of them is like an interactive project that we've been doing that we just or are about to launch the call for submission. It's been launched already on other avenues, but it's a partnership with a visual artist, Gabriel Torres, the Center, and the Tank. And so we're kind of doing this like trifecta here of sorts to engage different types of performances and make a call for people to submit videos and conversations or artwork around what it means to look at intimacy in times of isolation. And so that's basically like the prompt. And then through 2 different video programs that will live on both the Tank's website and the Center's website is like ways that we're engaging also with different types of communities so that it's not just like, you know, literature based or panel, but that we're also engaging like the theater and performance community to think about it differently. So I try to see like the silver lining in all of this, to rethink everything that like we thought was working or not, you know.
can you put that link in the chat? Is that something that you can share?
I put the links in the chat right now, but I can also send the call for proposals for you because it doesn't look like they added that call for submissions just yet, but it might be up within a day or so.
Yeah, that's really cool. I would love to look into that because I actually did the last work in progress showing I did was at the Tank, and everyone there is amazing.
Thanks for your thoughts. It's really great to hear that the last couple hours could serve as a respite from what I know has been such a it's been such a stressful world, and that's really the goal of tonight, as well as any other virtual art salons that we need to have moving forward to bring us together virtually and dive into the artist's works in progress and focus on that and focus on something positive rather than the news and everything that is happening outside of this call. Anyone else have any announcements they want to share? Going once? Great. Okay, well, I'm just gonna wrap us up with a couple admin announcements and next steps. First, just thank you again to all four of the artists. That was incredible. Yeah, virtual round of applause. That was incredible. You did an amazing job showcasing your creative process, and I know we're super grateful. So, in terms of admin and ACP next steps, thank you to all of you who filled out the ACP check-in survey. The goal of that was really to assess what you've learned so far, what the program can still, how the program can be a resource to you moving forward in terms of professional development, elements, as well as how it can be a resource during a global pandemic. If you haven't gotten a chance to fill it out yet, please do so. I'll follow up and resend the link. It looks like from those of you who have replied thus far, it looks like people would prefer to get the ACP update newsletter on a bi-weekly basis rather than a weekly. So unless people start to chime in otherwise, I think that's going to be the plan moving forward. So I'll keep sending those out remotely, and people can still add their updates into that Google Doc that I circulated. The next ACP art salons will unfortunately almost certainly be virtual unless something drastic changes in New York City. So as a reminder, for the Flushing group, that's Thursday, May 14th, and for the Maspeth Ridgewood group, Thursday, May 21st, both from 6 to 8 p.m. For those of you who had planned to host that event as your art commissioner event, that was Laurie for the Maspeth Ridgewood group, who's not in the call anymore, and Emily for the Flushing group. I'll be reaching out to you to talk about what a remote event might look like and how we could potentially reconfigure that. And then just to extend to the whole group, if you have an idea as to what could potentially be a really engaging virtual program, or just have ideas generally as to how the program could be a resource, please don't hesitate to reach out. Richard, it sounds like you're doing some amazing virtual programming through your job at the center. And I think one of the benefits of ACP is because we are such a sort of small and tight-knit group that the program has the capacity to be flexible and respond to what's going on in terms of your interests and in terms of the world, which of course is so needed right now. So I just want to reiterate that, you know, I'm still available and working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And so I really invite all of you to reach out, even if it's just to chat or to talk about, you know, hey, I'm trying to keep an organization afloat. How can QCA be a resource? Or I want to talk through this idea. I'm really available to you all. I think that is all that I had. So with that, I just want to say, stay safe. It was great to see you, and you know, keep making art and keep doing whatever it is that you need to do to stay healthy and to stay sane throughout all this. And thanks for joining. It was great to see you all.
Bye,
Thank
y'all.
you. Bye.
Great.
Take care.
Much.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye, Kelly. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
The problem with us is not that nobody said it. It's not the problem. You know, the great teachers, great people told it. But the problem is that we did not, sometimes we did not understand it. sometimes we did not trust it. Sometimes we are too lazy, busy. So we are too busy with, unmeaningful things, right? People say, oh, hey, there's something to do. I have no time. But what are you doing? I have to finish the episode. I'm in season 4. I'm in season 3, right? So they are sort of busy and lazy, right? So this is the thing. So that's why, we are always behind. And so Shanti Deva is right. We have nothing to say new that Buddha haven't told. But what he can do is he can recall it, right? He can remind it. He can tell it in new language, right? Then he also can filter. Sometimes we need filter. I like always filter. I personally